Yeah, everybody good? Microphones? All right. Has technology gotten better? Like, it should be microphones up here. All right, so, all right, is this AI?
Yeah.
All right, that probably everything's AI. All right, first thing, we're excited to go 2-0. And, we wanted to win the segments. We basically, it's 2 24-minute games, and that was a priority for us to win, to compete. And to finish those segments with Vanderbilt having more points than UVA. Now the next thing is, you can't overreact on anything that happened today. We got 17 days, all right, to get better before our first game, and we did some things well. I thought we played hard. We obviously made mistakes, and usually we make mistakes for these scrimmages or exhibitions behind closed doors, and you guys got to see them, but you also got a chance to see this team is talented, and we got a chance to be good. But I thought, just the overall energy of the team, we're ready to play, excited to play. UVA is going to have a good team too. So that was a great test for us, and to be able to get that in this kind of setting was a great night.
Questions for your Duke Miles, Tyler Harris.
Duke, I saw you kind of soaking it in there as the buzzer sounded, waving your arms. Just could you take me through that moment and what it meant to you to kind of have a win here?
Yeah, getting my first win in Memorial, even though it's an expedition, any win is a big win to me, and then for the team as well. So, just soaking it in and having the fans and everybody in the crowd just in tune with us and us and as a team, it just means a lot.
Tyler, what has the transition been like for you coming from Washington, to being in Vanderbilt's system, kind of?
Yeah, I feel like the system really fits me a little better. I have more free. I can shoot a couple more shots without looking back at the bench, and I just like the role I have.
Duke, what do you feel like you showed tonight?
One thing I think I try to show energy. One thing I try to bring to the team, I just want to be a leader. I'm kind of an older guy. I just want to bring energy, whether that's, picking a teammate up, going to get a rebound, whatever the case may be, I just want to bring that energy to the team.
Tyler, I guess same question to you. What do you feel like you brought tonight?
Really just defense, guarding the smaller guards, even power forwards. I remember like the first possession I got switched on, just making a miss, just showing that I'm physical.
Tyler, I know you mentioned a little bit more freedom. Obviously, you worked a lot on putting it on the floor and getting your own shot. How do you feel that that's come along to this point?
Yeah, I'm really proud of my work. I just blessed that I could even do it with the system, and then I could show it in front of the fans and stuff.
Duke.
Sorry, Duke. Tyler Tanner also with an efficient night tonight. What did you see from him?
I'm gonna start with this. Tyler Tanner in practice is hard to guard anyway. So just having him out there on the floor and just seeing him being efficient, being a young player, it's just real exciting to see, because at the end of the day, I know he's gonna work hard, he's gonna put in that effort, and the results are always gonna show at the end of the day.
Dude, kind of the same thing as Tyler. Feel like you'll have a more expansive role here, putting it on the floor a little bit more. Just how do you feel you developed that part of your game, and how do you feel you can show it now?
Yeah, of course, coming from Oklahoma last year, I already been in the SEC, going through the transfer portal, it wasn't easy, but, just having Coach B and the whole staff and my whole teammates behind me, just, pushing me every day, whether that's, to get better with dribbling, putting it on the floor, cutting, whatever that may be, just spinning my role. I'm gonna give them guys my all every night.
Dude, I think you lost a couple of teeth at Oklahoma last year.
Yes, sir.
What's that say about your style of play, and how do you come back from something like that?
Basketball. People say basketball is not a physical game, but I think that's a cap. I think basketball is very physical, and losing my teeth and still going back out there and play. I think everybody just has to realize like stuff is gonna happen, no matter good or bad. That you just go out there and compete and just show that you have that dog in you. And when you show you have that dog, everybody respect that.
Tyler, this summer, he was saying that he was challenging you to get your shot off a little bit faster. Just how's that balance with not rushing it and still getting it off quicker, so when guys know you can shoot, that you can still get it off?
Yeah, it's just being shot ready. Just making sure my knees are down, because I'm not gonna get a lot of open looks anymore. And obviously, just expanding my range to like the NBA range, something like that.
You feel like you've been guarded a little more closely based off the percentage you were putting up last year?
Today I was a little bit surprised. I thought it would get a little bit more tighter defense, but yeah, I think it will.
There's a pretty hefty amount of transfers coming in. How do you guys feel you guys have all gelled together so far?
I'll go first. I feel like Coach B and the staff did very well by putting us together. Like, everybody know the transfer portal coming in, bring a lot of older guys, younger guys, a little mixture. It could be be a headache. But Coach did good by playing good guys that, you know, good character guys, and they have good habits. And we like, you don't have to force team bonding. We all hang with each other. We all support each other. And I think that's just a brotherhood that everybody wish and fight for, and that we already have from day one.
Yeah, I said the same. This is the most connected team I've ever been on. Everybody liking each other, cheering each other on. And, you know, when you care about someone making shots or something like that, it goes like a long way.
One more for the guys.
Duke, you've been at 4 stops. What made this one the right one, and what stood out and made you pick here?
It's kind of funny to say, but the length. Like in the SEC, you know, you can't, like, the physicality is one thing, but when you're going out there and competing like against your own teammates who's bigger, longer, and stronger too as well, I was like, this is a good, you know, team that I can go out there and compete with. And I feel like, you know, with Coach having me expanding my role and, you know, trusting me and trusting the other guys as well, we're gonna make a deep run for sure.
All right, Duke, Tyler, thank you. You guys are good.
Thank y'all.
All right, questions for Coach?
Duke Miles obviously showed a lot of energy tonight. What do you think of his performance and maybe how that element of his game can affect your team?
Yeah, coaching him now for a couple of months, the energy doesn't surprise me in him playing hard. He is extremely smart, and so it just makes things easier for me. It makes me sleep better at night. I could trust the ball in his hands. You saw him tonight kind of play with the ball and without the ball, and I thought he made really good decisions out there for the team. And he knows what we're doing already. He's only been here a couple of months as well as anybody, so that's a credit to, you know, kind of the different stops and learning along the way, but he's also extremely intelligent. He picks up things quickly.
He was more of a role player for Oklahoma last year. I played a lot, but wasn't like a go-to guy. Felt like tonight you could count on the team for that. What works about him in this offense, and can he be more of a go-to scorer here?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma had a lottery pick point guard, and the ball was in his hands, you know, a bunch. So he kind of was in the corner off the ball a little bit. You know, he hurt us last year in the second half at Oklahoma, and we've known him for a while. You know, his stops and everything else, and you know, he was the last person that we got a commitment from in this class, and we thought we had everything in this class that would help us out, but we needed a guy, you know, with experience and SEC experience and intelligence and kind of being able to play multiple positions, which he did today. It was the right fit for us, and so you know, this is just a start for him. He'll get more and more comfortable, even better than this.
What did you make of Jalen Washington's performance tonight? That's the big thing.
Yeah, I thought Jalen was a little worn out in the first half. I didn't think he had his wind, maybe a second wind, and then I thought he did a much better job in the second half. He's better than what he did today. There's a lot of guys that, you know, just got out there and maybe got exhausted. This was a lot of minutes, and you know, the pace of the game. But he's been very impressive in practice, and you know, I thought he did in the second half, and I think he'll keep on going and building it more and more.
Obviously, a lot of new guys on your team. How do you feel like they gelled together against some other competition?
Yeah, it's a learning experience, and you know, they're learning each other. And look, they made mistakes, I made mistakes, and but the exciting thing is the biggest jump you're going to make is from game 1 to game 2, and so we got film. We'll watch it. They're eager learners. They want to get better. They want to be good. So the stuff that you're seeing right now, it's good, but it's going to get way better with experience and being able to learn with each other.
How has Tyler Tanner improved now in his second year?
Yeah, I mean, you can just see the aggressiveness with him with the ball. You know, it's last year. I think he, you know, plays sometimes not to make mistakes. You know, obviously I trusted him a lot. Last year he played a ton as a freshman, but this year we're going to live with some mistakes sometimes and let him be aggressive. And I love his aggressiveness tonight. Probably could be a little more aggressive, but you can kind of see somebody in year 2 and what it looks like from year 1 to year 2. He's put on 12 pounds. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten better. He's obviously super smart, but I think it's just a mentality, and more things are put on his shoulder now. I mean, I'm asking him to do more, and he's capable of that.
I know you didn't schedule this game thinking, oh, we got to win this game, or we got to find out who our starting 5 is in this game. What did you want to learn out of tonight, and what do you take away from it, I guess?
Yeah, the group tonight won't be our starting five. That was the lineup we begin with today. And we wanted to play like the 2 games in 2 different lineups, and there's some things that we're seeing. And we'll get more evidence of how these lineups work together. And we'll study, the 5-man groups and then see what they look like. So, tonight it is what it is. It's the first game. You can't overreact in a good way or a bad way. We're not winning a national championship because of this, and we're not going to suck because of this. Like it's a great learning experience, and I know Ryan will say the same thing. Like, this is what it's for. You play and you figure out what you do right and what you don't do right, and then as coaches, you kind of huddle up and try to cover some weakness, emphasize strengths, and try to fix some things.
How do you evaluate Tyler Tanner and then Frankie Collins at point guard? How are they similar? How are they different? And how do you think they might end up splitting time this season?
Yeah, well, I think you saw tonight, and I've been saying this. It's not one or the other, and so I've been saying it, and I proved it tonight. Now Frankie was on a minute restriction tonight, and he's missed practices last week. Missed a lot of practices, and he's just getting back. So we did not want to overplay him. So we protect him in minutes, and but one of the best lineups I think we have right now is Tyler Tanner and Frankie together, or one of those guys and Duke Miles together. So it's a good lineup for us. I want to get bigger and longer and everything else, but those guys have been good together in practice, and they were good tonight.
How big of a challenge was it playing their pretty skilled bigs, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, they're tough to guard. Ryan has a great system. Their spacing's really good, and both teams are going to look and say, we miss shots and miss free throws, and that's a part of it. That's the first game, but they're going to be really good, and those freshman bigs are going to take huge jumps, and they're already good, but they're going to take huge jumps, and I think those guards are tough. I think Jakari White is a really hard matchup. He's quicker in person than I imagined, and so they're going to do well and build and everything else, but the way they space you out and make reads and kind of make cuts, it's difficult to guard them. So that was a good test for us.
Was there a particular lineup you learned anything about tonight, maybe that you were anxious to see how they would be against another team?
Yeah, I mean, the lineup that we had to run in the second half had Tyler Harris at the 2. And, that was our bigger lineup. AK can play anywhere. AK Okereke can play anywhere on the court. And so you saw him at the 1 sometimes. You saw him at the 4. You see him everywhere, and Dev McLaughlin plays so hard. I didn't want to wear him out for the whole season tonight. I mean, you can see the effort he plays with, and I had to spell him a little bit. But we went to the big lineup. I think it was the lineup that I think it was Tyler Tanner and Tyler Harris and Tyler Nickel and AK, and then it was AK at the 3, and then Devin at the 4, and Jalen Washington. That's some big, strong guys. Yeah, that's a long lineup, some big, strong guys out there.
One more for Coach.
Mark, it used to be like secret scrimmages in the preseason. And do you like this better with the crowd and everything?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like the method behind this. I wanted to do this for the fans, and we didn't broadcast it, and that was on purpose. We wanted people to get to Memorial, and I try to do things to. We try to do things to entertain the fans the best we could with some things, shorter halftime and a mic up, and try to do some things for our fans, and that'll keep building. Our Memorial was great last year, and but it got great, I think, in January and February, and we want it to be great. I guess the next one's November 3rd, and so we want to do this for them, and it's also good for our players to play in front of fans.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right.